Good afternoon, I'm Maia Rodriguez. This is Newsfeed at noon on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Let's start with the day's biggest stories. The Philippine Police Chief and Interior Secretary now in Indonesia to personally fetch the fugitive former Bamban town mayor Alice Guo. The disgraced ex-official was arrested early Wednesday morning in Tangerang City outside of Jakarta. She faces multiple charges here in the Philippines over her alleged ties to an illegal Philippine offshore gaming operator or POGO hub. Alice Guo is expected to be brought back to the Philippines tonight. Our reporter Francis Falve is monitoring developments at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport and he joins us now live. Francis, what can you tell us so far?
Yes, Mike, we have been staking out here at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport since dawn, but no Alice Guo arrived this morning. Many expected that she could be on board two flights from Indonesia that arrived here, one at 3 and another at 6 o'clock. But no sign of the former Bamban mayor, who's wanted here in the country for multiple reasons. As you've mentioned earlier, Interior Secretary Benjamin Avalos Jr. and the PNP Chief General Romel Marbil have arrived in Indonesia on board an 8-seater private plane to facilitate Guo's return to the country. Officials and representatives of the Bureau of Immigration and the National Bureau of Investigation also went to Jakarta for proper coordination regarding Alice Guo. According to immigration spokesperson Dana Sandoval, Guo has already been turned over by the INP to the Indonesia Immigration and they are now in the final process of coordinating as to how she will be transferred back to the Philippines. Mike?
So, Francis, do we know the exact time of Alice Guo's arrival here in the country tonight?
Yes, Mike, we've gotten reports that she will arrive at 6:18 p.m. via a chartered flight and will land on a private hangar near the Maia. We also got an information that there will be a final meeting in Jakarta around lunchtime there today before they fly back to Manila. We will give you more updates as we get more information from the authorities concerned on Alice Guo's return. Mai?
We will certainly watch out for that. Thank you, Francis Falve, reporting from the Maia in Pasay City. Senators today continue their hearing on Alice Guo's mysterious escape. Her lawyer also confirmed the fugitive former mayor will return to the country today. Let's find out more from Agatha Gregorio reporting from the Senate. Agatha. Agatha? All right, we will try to get that audio back to Agatha Gregorio. She is monitoring the Senate hearing that is ongoing there at the Senate. We will get back to her in a bit. The Justice Department, meanwhile, issues a clarification on the reported request of Indonesia for a prisoner swap in exchange for the custody of Alice Guo. Hannah T. joins us live from the DOJ for an update. Hannah.
The Justice Department says there's no official request from Indonesia to exchange Alice Guo with Australian drug trafficker Gregor Juan Haddad. Earlier reports from Indonesian media suggested that Haddad, who was arrested in Cebu, was being considered for a swap with Guo. Haddad was apprehended following an Interpol notice attempting to smuggle drugs to Indonesia, a crime punishable by death in that country. Meanwhile, DOJ spokesperson Nico Clavano also noted that apart from the standing warrant issued by the Senate, Guo faces additional charges, including disobedience to summons and a non-bailable human trafficking charge. Bureau of Immigration spokesperson Dana Sandoval reported earlier this morning that Guo's arrest was carried out without resistance or any untoward incident. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you, Hannah T. They're reporting live from the DOJ. Coming up, the Philippines' latest inflation data and another school shooting rocks the U.S. Stay with us here on Newsfeed. And we're back. You're still watching Newsfeed at noon on BNC. As we've mentioned earlier, senators today continue their hearing on Alice Guo's mysterious escape. Her lawyer also confirmed the fugitive former mayor will return to the country today. Joining us on the line is Agatha Gregorio reporting from the Senate. Agatha.
Yes, my attorney Stephen David did confirm that information to us earlier. Senator Rafi Tulfo also says Guo is expected to come back via a chartered flight with Interior Secretary Benher Abalos and National Police Chief Romel Marbil. Meanwhile, attorney David says he was not surprised by Guo's arrest in Indonesia.
Ongoing yung usapan nila para makauwi na siya dito. Alam ko naman ma-arrest siya eh. That's why I was always requesting her to surrender. Kasi you cannot escape the long arm of the law.
David adds Guo's alleged cohort Wesley Guo wishes to surrender, and he is already coordinating with local authorities on this. Despite Alice Guo's absence, senators continue their hearings on her departure from the country. Sheila Guo, who was initially introduced as her sister, and David, who is both Alice and Sheila Guo's lawyer, are present. Meanwhile, Philippine offshore gaming operation Lucky South 99 representative Cassandra Leong is absent as she is in the hospital. Alice Guo did not show up to some hearings on illegal pogos, resulting in an arrest order from the Senate for contempt. Back to you, Mai.
Agatha, Cassandra Ong is also crucial in the Senate's investigation. Are there details on her condition?
Yes, Mai. Senators got a letter from the House of Representatives saying she may need 2 to 3 days to stabilize her health condition. That's due to low blood sugar and blood pressure. Mai?
All right, thank you, Agatha Gregorio, reporting to us from the Senate. Philippine inflation eases in August, retreating from a 9-month high. We have our reporter Sujin Kim to tell us more about the better-than-expected economic data. Sujin.
My headline inflation in August decelerated to 3.3% from the 4.4% recorded in July. This as inflation rates temper and fall within the government's target band of 2 to 4% following consistent interventions from the government and the central bank. The Philippine Statistics Authority says the slowdown was primarily driven by a decrease in food inflation, which fell to 4.2% from 6.7%. Inflation accelerated among housing, water, electricity, gas, and other fuels at 3.8%. But average prices of rice dropped slightly in August, with both regular milled and well-milled rice at 50 pesos, while special rice is at 64.08 pesos.
Expected to further go down. Yung base effect. Next month rather, this month of September, it will further go down to single digit because of base effect. It's slow, but we hope to see bigger drops in the coming months.
Among 13 commodity groups, 9 recorded a slower increase in inflation last August. Prices in transport also scaled back, noting a negative 0.2% inflation. Meanwhile, Finance Secretary Ralph Recto says the DOF continues to source financing for public programs. He adds they have to collect 11.71 billion pesos a day in revenues to support the average daily spending of 15.80 billion pesos. This leaves a 4.10 billion peso gap each day that he says could be plugged by debt. The government continues to focus on non-tax revenues. National Economic and Development Authority Secretary Arsenio Balisacan says the sustained easing in inflation will support household consumption. He adds low-income households will benefit from the decline in food inflation, especially since food constitutes 51.4% of consumption among the bottom 30% of households. And those are latest updates from Quezon City. Back to you, Mai.
Thank you, Sujin Kim reporting. The chairperson and CEO of the Energy Regulatory Commission, Mona Lisa de Malanta, is slapped with a 6-month preventive suspension by the Office of the Ombudsman. This is in connection with a case filed by advocacy group Nasecor, accusing her of gross neglect of duty and conduct prejudicial to the best interest of service. Nasicor claims the Malanta allowed Meralco to purchase electricity at higher prices and pass the charges on to consumers without obtaining the necessary approval from the ERC. Citing evidence, the ombudsman says the guilt of the Malanta is strong and the charges may warrant her removal from office. Overseas, the management of German automotive giant Volkswagen goes toe-to-toe with workers angered by the company's plan to shut factories in its home country. Thousands of employees attended the firm's general meeting on Wednesday to vent their frustration. They question why Volkswagen is allegedly prioritizing spending on a €5 billion software partnership with a U.S. startup over protecting German jobs. The automaker's finance chief explains Europe's car market had shrunk after the pandemic and that the company is facing a shortfall in demand of about 500,000 cars. He admits he does not expect sales to recover and that the core Volkswagen brand had 1 to 2 years to cut spending and adjust its output. Another school shooting in the U.S., this time at a Georgia high school where 4 people are killed. The shooting at the Appalachia High School in Windsor, Georgia, happened just weeks after classes began. The gunman, a 14-year-old student now in police custody, he killed 2 fellow students and 2 teachers and wounded 9 others. The suspect was interviewed by law enforcement last year over online threats of committing a school shooting. This latest incident served as a reminder to students, teachers, and parents of the threat of gun violence in schools and colleges across the nation.
I'm out here because I'm really concerned for my community. I don't think that our educators or our students or our children should be concerned or scared of being harmed in a place where they can find refuge and like food and community. Like a school for education should not be some place where you worry about being shot.
Meanwhile, Vice President and Democratic presidential candidate Kamala Harris called the shooting a senseless tragedy during a campaign stop in New Hampshire. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau suffers an unexpected political blow after losing the support of his key party ally. The New Democratic Party says it is ripping up a 2020 deal with Trudeau under which the group agreed to keep him in power until next year in return for more social spending. But the NDP had expressed growing frustration with Trudeau in recent months, especially over what it claims is the Liberal Party's failure to deal with high prices of goods. Trudeau dismisses talk of early elections and says he is willing to talk with the NDP's leader.
I have had over the past number of years many conversations about how we get things done for Canadians, and that has led to things like $10 a day childcare, dental care that has made a huge impact. But both of those things have more work to do in Parliament this fall, as we're moving forward on pharmacare as well, to make sure that free prescription contraceptives, to make sure that free insulin is available to Canadians. These are things that I know the NDP should care about, because Canadians care about it. So I look forward to conversations with Mr. Singh about how we're going to continue to demonstrate that confident countries invest in their citizens, invest in their future, because that's what we're doing.
Heading over to Brazil, where a massive wildfire has been raging for 2 straight days around the capital. The blaze has now destroyed 20% of a forest and is cloaking the city of Brasilia in clouds of smoke. Authorities suspect this may have been started by arsonists. The wildfire also broke out at the peak of the dry season when temperatures are high, causing flames to spread fast. Still to come, a look at an ice cream shop in Hungary that's gaining popularity for its savory flavors. Newsfeed at noon. We'll be right back. Stay with us. And we're back. You're still watching Newsfeed at noon. Heavy rains continue to hit parts of the country. Let's get an update on the weather with Pag-asa's Alzar Aurelio. Alzar, what's the latest?
Hello and good afternoon and rainy day today. We're experiencing rainy today because of southwest monsoon. Most part of Luzon will be are experiencing this kind of weather, this kind of gloomy weather. Southwest monsoon affecting most part of Luzon, while the trough or extension of the enteng, the enteng outside the PAR, affecting the northern Luzon. So for the next 24 hours, we continue to experience this kind of weather. Especially, we expect...
Sinasabi mo, itong yung habagat, yung nagpapaulan sa maraming area sa Luzon ngayon, ano? Especially Metro Manila also. Kahit nakalabas na si Bagyong Enteng?
Tama po yun. That's correct. Southwest monsoon. Enhanced southwest monsoon po. Because of the enteng outside the PAR.
Ito nga nakikita natin sa satellite image ang kapal ng rain clouds dito sa may western portions of Luzon. Pakisabi nga, Alzar, ano yung mga areas na ito, lalo na yung mga red dito sa satellite image natin?
Opo, yan ay ang isa sa mga kakayahan ng satellite natin. Yung red, kumbaga, nasa channel po tayo ng infrared. Yung red, ibig sabihin po na associated na makakapal ng ulap. Hindi makakapal ng ulap associated with nga malalakas na pag-ulan. At sa nakikita nyo, doon lang po sa West Philippine Sea, concentrated po sa western section ng ating Luzon. Tulad ng Ilocos Region, Bataan, Zambales, kasama ang Metro Manila, ganun din sa may Cavite, facing West Philippine Sea. Iyon ang makakaranas ng pamisa-misang heavy rains.
Alzar, pakisabi nga yung forecast natin for tonight and for tomorrow habang papalayo si Bagyong Enteng, pero kasi may threat of the enhanced habagat pa rin.
Yes, today the most Luzon except Bicol region will continue to experience rainy because of southwest monsoon and trough of the typhoon Enteng outside the Philippine area of responsibility. The rest of the country for today is they are experiencing good weather, so we can see that this kind of weather over Visayas and Mindanao will continue to have this kind of weather. Tomorrow, southwest monsoon still affecting I think northern and central Luzon. And here in Metro Manila, we continue to have a rainy day, but lesser rain intensity compared to today.
Okay, hopefully less rain na at mas mahina ng pag-ulan bukas. Alzar, maraming salamat. Weather specialist ng Pag-asa, Alzar Aurelio. Unseeded Czech Karolína Muchová beats Brazil's Haddad Maia 6-1, 6-4 to reach the semifinal for a second consecutive year at the US Open in New York. Muchová, who returned to action in June after recovering from an injury in February, fought through hip discomfort and leaned on her backhand slice to dispatch the Brazilian 22nd seed in 85 minutes. Muchová will next face either top seed Iga Swiatek or American 6th seed Jessica Pegula in the final. And before we go, let's head to Hungary for a look at a local ice cream parlor offering the wackiest flavors. For starters, Roberto Confectionery serves beer and potato pancake flavored ice cream. But for those who are more adventurous, the ice cream menu includes flavors like cabbage stew, spaghetti bolognese, and scrambled eggs with bacon. So far, the savory ice cream flavors have been popular with some customers, but others admit they are more of an acquired taste. Still, the taste bud challenging flavors have become an overnight hit, creating a buzz online which quickly became long lines at the shop. And those are the news this hour. I'm Maia Rodriguez. Stay tuned to BNC for more top-of-the-hour news on Free TV, Channel 31, and also on our website, bnc.ph. Bilyonaryo News Channel, always on top.